Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution. Episode 1086. I'm clean shaven. It always looks weird after I shave. It's like, what's wrong with my face? What's wrong with my face? Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1086. Burgers and beers, man. I went out, did some socializing last night for the first time in a whole week. But I had the only interactions I've had since Tuesday morning with my wife, dropping her off at the airport, was Wednesday morning at the vet. That was about it. Went to the grocery store. I think I used self-checkout. I went to Walmart one day, self-checkout. So what's going on? Hey, we're going to talk a little football along with my burgers and beers. Talk a little football today. I did a lot of sorting yesterday. Yesterday was a really shitty day for my basketball teams. My Western Illinois Leathernecks lost at home to Tennessee State. They led by, I think, 9 points in the first half. Like, they were cruising. They might have led by more than that. Then they were down by 11 in the second half. Like, I think Tennessee State went on like a 22-4 run. There's Dave. He was ready to come in for that last second shot. Yeah. So it was a good game. They just fell apart. There were like 10 to 15 minutes in that second half. They didn't put a full game together, but they fought back, took a lead late, and then this is the second heartbreaking loss by my Leathernecks at home this year. South Dakota was the other one back in, I think, December. Now, the thing is with mid-major basketball is it doesn't matter. I mean, the only thing that matters, these conference games, I mean, you want to win, obviously, but at the end of the day, if they pile together a bunch more wins, they're like 12. Well, they're 12-7 now, I think. So unless you're like 32-0 in the OVC, you're not making the tournament. You got to win your conference tournament. So you play the entire regular season. It doesn't mean anything. The regular season means nothing, and I hate that about college basketball at the mid-major level. So it's like, well, you get them back in the tournament. So Leathernecks are still in first place in the conference. So we'll see. I think they've got like 4 road games in a row. So it's tough to win on the road, especially when you get into January conference and oh man, it's tough to win those games on the road. So we'll see how they shake things out. They're 5-1 now in the OVC, lost by 1 point yesterday. So, and then last night, my high school, my alma mater was the girls basketball team. They're ranked 3rd in the state. That's probably going to drop because they lost in their conference tournament championship game. So they play the conference they play in has conference tournaments like in the middle of the season. So they lost to the hosts of the tournament, the West Central Heat. They're what I've talked about. They used to be Union and Southern, the Yankees and Rebels, and then they consolidated. Now the entire county has a school, and they're called the West Central Heat. They actually beat Anawan earlier in the season, but Anawan had, I think, a couple starters missing. So it was like, didn't affect their rankings, didn't shoot West Central. And they have an all-state player who averages like 30 points a game. But they won last night. Both teams were fully loaded. So Anawan may drop. West Central should be in the top 10. They beat Anawan twice now. So that one hurts. That one hurts a little more than the Western game. So we'll see. Today we've got some big football games on. The game that I'm most excited about this weekend of the 4 games this weekend, the Lions drinking that Honolulu blue Kool-Aid. Go Lions. Thank God the Packers lost. Sorry, Packers fans. Yeah, I'm a hater. I'll tell you why. I really wanted them to lose after last night. Hey, I had a deal fall through yesterday that would have been a really good inventory buy. If you're looking for inventory, look at Facebook. Facebook card groups, Facebook Marketplace. There's never ending inventory. Yeah, you're going to have to sift through a lot of bullshit 90s crap. But there's a lot of good stuff that you can find on Facebook, whether it's in card groups, whether it's on Marketplace. So in one of my groups, somebody had this like trying to get out of, and I'm seeing that more and more. And he's selling a whole bunch of shit, like a lot of recent Bowman autos, and all that. And he's like $550 shipped unless you're local to Northern Illinois. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm local to Northern Illinois. So I typed in interested and local, sending a PM. So I sent him a private message, and we're back. He's in Naperville. We're shooting messages back and forth. And I'm like, just tell me your price. I'm interested. Just tell me your price. And before it got to that, he goes, oh, shoot, I'm sorry, man. I was getting like 5 messages at the same time. Somebody already claimed it, which, hey, it happens. The shitty thing is, I wish he would have put a local price. Like, I wish, because I would have bought it. It was a good deal at $550 shipped, but it's like, I don't want it to ship. Like, if I can say it's not just about me saving money. It's about me saving cards from the postal service, right? So it's like, if you would have said $450 shipped, or even picked up, or $500 picked up, it's like, well, if I had to drive all the way to Naperville, just ship it to me for $550, because it's going to take me 4 hours round trip, gas. There's going to be some toll. Like, just I'll pay. I probably should have just taken it outright and just ship it to you, even though I'm 2 hours away. He even said in our messages he'd meet halfway, which that would have been like to Rockford. That would have been okay. Only would have killed a couple hours of my day. But I should have just claimed it. Somebody claimed it, like, boom, like right after we were messaging back and forth. And it's okay. And that's, some people get upset. Like, well, we were in discussions, but you didn't buy. Like, he claimed it at full price. I didn't. Like, I was just I'm interested, but I didn't say I was going to buy it. He could have said, well, $525 local pickup. And it's like, no, thanks. You ship it to me for $550. I would have done that. I should have just claimed it. I should have just said take, and then work out the details. So there you go. If you're ever in that situation where it's a local pickup, just claim it and say, hey, let's meet locally. And yeah, I know you've agreed to the whole shipping, but I'm sure the seller is going to be like, oh yeah, I don't want to package this crap up. So there you go. I learned a lesson. And it's funny because I went out with my buddy Mark last night, and I was a third wheel. His wife came. They were going to the movies. I'm like, dude, I need to get out of the house. You want to meet up at Village Green? He's like, well, wife and I are going to the movies at 8:30, but we could probably stop up for a pregame. I'm like, okay, deal, done. I'll be a third wheel. I don't care. And then they had a third ticket. It was to see the Queen concert in Montreal from 1981. Apparently it's a really good. And they're like, we have an extra ticket. Do you want to go? And I'm like, no, I think I'm going to have one more beer here and then go home. I'm good. I'm not a Queen fan. I like some of their songs, but I'm not going to go watch a 2-hour concert. So he had something similar happen to where he kind of slept on a deal, and he's upset. And I'm like, dude, you gotta claim it. So I learned my lesson. You know, if something like that comes up again, just claim it and then work out the details later. And I didn't do that. And I lost out on some good stuff. Like it would have been even at $550, there would have been some, a lot of meat left on the bone, especially for, just the hits alone, would have made me profit. And then all the base throw in Car Dealer Pro and boom, that's just gravy. So you snooze, you lose. And I was dozing yesterday. Bummer, dude. But it happens. And then at the same time, it's like, I'm not too upset because I have cards coming out of my ears, and I was listing some more stuff. It's like, well, I might as well get some of this listed. My sales have been, I see somebody in the chat mentioned sales. I woke up both yesterday and this morning to crazy amounts of overnight sales, which I love. I love waking up to big numbers on my eBay alert. And guess what? A lot of that has to do with me listing a whole shitload of stuff. I probably listed over 1,000 cards to eBay this week. Probably well over it. Probably close to 2,000 cards this week. Because I think when I came back from Cubs convention, I think I was at 50,200, 50,300. I think I'm at 50. Oh, okay. So not close to 2,000. Probably 1,200 listings this week. Well, plus I sold, so probably close to 2,000. Because 50,200 plus minus what I sold, and then I'm at, I think, 51,400 listings as of this morning. So yeah, listing a whole bunch of shit. And that is spiking my sales. And it's not, some people say, well, when you list it helps the algorithm. It does, but that's not why you're making sales. It's part of what helps the algorithm. Many things. If you're in eBay, if you're revising listings, if you're answering like every touch within the eBay website app, that's helping the algorithm. eBay's algorithm knows that, hey, you're serious, you're in there, and it's going to just boost you a little bit. So every little thing counts. I think people over, what's the term I'm looking for? But people put too much emphasis on listings and the algorithm, and it's not the algorithm. It's yes, it's part of it, but mainly unless you're listing junk. If I went and listed 1,084 Topps cards, probably not going to boost my sales. But if I list, a stack of 2020 Ginter, a stack of 2007 Ginter, a stack of random stars, Will Clark, Cal Ripken, Tony Gwynn, Kirby Puckett, and then a stack of Bowman prospects, Jackson Holiday, all of a sudden that stuff moves, and you'll see somebody buy 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. Boom. Bigger transactions. And that's what leads. And then all of a sudden that activity helps the algorithm. Oh, a lot of people are buying from this store, and you get another boost. So crushed my sales goals the last couple of days. Actually didn't crush it Friday. Did okay on Thursday. I was better than my sales goal on Thursday. Fell short Friday. Actually, I think combining the 2 days, I was slightly above average. And then yesterday did pretty well. So we'll see how Sunday goes. A lot of shipping to do, though. So now it's like yesterday I didn't even really focus. I listed a couple hundred cards just casually. Like, before I went to the bar last night, I'm like, I'm going to list. I think I listed like 80 or 90 Ginter cards. I'm just going to list these before I head out. 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. But most of my day I was spent sorting my 2022 Bowman draft. My goodness. Like, I think I'm halfway through the third box. So I've got 2.5 4-row boxes sorted, semi-sorted, because I still have to break them out by card. I'm going to end up having about 200 of each card. And these are paper-based from 22 Bowman draft. So I really want to get through these. I've still got my case of 23 Bowman. I've got boxes of other Bowman that I've picked up. Now I've cherry picked all of these. Like the Jackson Holidays are gone. The Ellie De La Cruzes are gone. Jason Dominguez is gone. Jordan Walk, like the big stuff, but there's still like Sal Stewart, Chase DeLauder. Who else are some of the okay names? But there's still quite a few of that I think they'll move. Plus, sometimes you never know. Like sometimes I'll sell. What did I sell this week? It was like Robbie Snelling. I sold a 25 card first Bowman lot of Robbie Snelling. I'm like, hey, that's a win. Been sitting in my store for several months. That's a win. So that's what I'm working on today. Let's go to the chat and then we'll talk about burgers and beers. Talking Tatis, what's going on? Good morning. Jamie's in the house. What's happening? Double A Cards is here. He says Burgers and Beers is a restaurant in Kankakee. Hey, speaking of Kankakee, I did a little math yesterday. It's really hard, and I've done this before. I wonder how many miles from Wrigley, because I did like as the crow flies, right? So based on the standard trading card size, now I have some minis in my Cubs card collection, but I also have some bigger cards. Topps Big, 89 Bowman, some of the like 8x10 photos that count as cards because they're on trading card databases cards. So I just did the standard card, 1 million. If they are laid like this long ways, like that, 1 million will stretch out to 55.25 miles, which gets you, as the crow flies, from Wrigley Field to Kankakee. So I tweeted that. Someone's like, where in the hell's Kankakee? Well, it's kind of a local thing. Well, it's not local, but look at a map. Look at a map of Illinois, Kankakee. It's kind of a big city out south of Chicago. I think I did this math once, and it was like almost to Club 400. And probably this was the first time I did as the crow flies. And it's damn near to Lake Geneva, 55.25 miles. I think Milwaukee's like 70 miles as the crow flies. So Burgers and Beers. Donald Davis, good morning. What's happening? Boston Smokes in the house. Talking Tatis says more fancy Cubs gear. Yeah, I was going to throw a hoodie on today, but it's like, this is almost as warm. It's like, this is I love these types of shirts because in Wisconsin you can wear these. They're like 3-season sunroom. They're like 3-season rooms, three-season porches. These shirts are 3 seasons because that's the weather in Wisconsin. So, but this is a little thicker. I have a thinner one that's a good like warm spring long sleeve or cool summer. And then this is more of a, like this, I'm comfortable lounging around in the winter in the house. So not new. This is pretty old. This is an old one. Todd, what's going on? Good morning. Happy Lions playoff day for those who celebrate. I'll be celebrating. Go Lions. Dave, what's going on? I was ready to come in for the next to take the last second shot yesterday, and Dave would have made it. Art Green, what's going on? Good morning. Had a blast at is it Saline, Michigan card show yesterday. Picked up some nice Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron cards to fill up my eBay store. Nice. No card shows for me this weekend, but Madison card show next Saturday. Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. Be there. I think I'm oversold on tables. So I've turned several people away. I went through my list yesterday, and I've got to do it again here this week to make sure I'm not missing anybody, because then something, it's like, oh shit, yeah, I told you could get in. And I don't want to cancel on people because I don't like it when they cancel on me. So we're going to fit in. There's a chance that I won't be set up Saturday at the Madison card show because I have oversold it too much. I may just go buy more tables. I may make another Fleet Farm run and buy more tables and just try to squeeze them in every nook and cranny I can. That's a possibility. So we may have 140 tables this Saturday, the Madison card show. We'll see. It's a real pain. I've learned it's a real pain. And I'm just like 7. Like I bring in 7 extra tables and it's a pain in the ass. Like I can't imagine like having to do, but I'm also like, I'm the only guy. Like they set up the room for me, but like when I bring in extra tables, like I do all that. And I'm talking about just 7. Like I couldn't imagine doing a 150 table show where I have to bring in all the tables, set them up. Now I would not do that on my own. I would have other people, but be a pain in the ass. Christian, what's up? Good morning. Gearing up for the Spartans, Lions, Red Wings triple header. Wow. I don't think I have anything like that going on today. I think the Lions game is the only one I'm looking forward to today. I'm not a hockey fan. My college basketball teams have already played. Badgers played Friday. Leathernecks played yesterday. So no college basketball. So that just leaves the Lions for me. Porter says SEMO is garbage, but somehow found a way to beat SIUE on the road. Yeah, college basketball is funny like that, man. Like Tennessee State is, they came out, they were like, okay, this team looks like that Brown, Christian Brown, I think's his name. He's a stud. And I'm like, okay, they came out, and then all of a sudden Western just like blew them out in the first half. And then the second half, Tennessee State blew out Western. It's just college basketball, especially at this level, at the low major level. It's you never know. You never know. Christian, what's up? Shout out to Johnny Boy Cards. Bought a couple cards from him this week. Very cool. Royals 417. Matt, what's up? Good morning. Mikey's in the house. Good morning. James says the Woodstock show. Awesome local show. A lot of good buys in Woodstock. Very nice. Yeah, Woodstock was yesterday. What else was yesterday? Oh, I think Hartford, Wisconsin, which I believe is Milwaukee area, had a show. Cooter, what's going on? Good morning. Philly Joe, good morning. He's rooting for the Lions. There's going to be a lot of Lions fans across the country today. Johnny M, good morning. Woke up to 24 sales. It's been a crazy weekend so far. Love it. I love those. I love waking up to those big numbers on eBay. Love it. Raphael, what's going on? Good morning. Mikey says, I'll take some of those cards to get them out of your ears. If you come up, we can crack a deal. You come to Madison because I don't want to ship. Johnny M agreed to a deal with a guy on Facebook, was supposed to pick it up next day. He sold it to someone else the night before. Ended up with a better deal from someone else a week later. Yeah, sometimes. Now, this particular, it wasn't a transaction because we didn't agree on anything, but this guy was like super cool. I was super cool. Like, okay, like you snooze, you lose. But then there's some that like, oh, I can get an extra $50 or whatever, and they'll like pull the rug out right out from under you. James wants to know, are you loading up 25? You loading up the 25-cent box? Maybe. I may not even have any 25-cent boxes this week. It just depends on my dealer status this week. So there's a chance I won't be even set up in Madison, which is not ideal because I didn't set up at any other shows this month. So I like to set up, and I make more money when I set up. I make more money than what I make on the table costs, right? But I don't want to have to cancel on a vendor. Like, hey, sorry, I don't have space for you. Well, you told me you did. That's a bad look, and then especially when I'm setting up. So if I oversell and I can't get more tables or squeeze them in anywhere, I'm gonna have to take one for the team and not set up. But I will be set up next month in Janesville. So that's a for sure, pending weather. If there's a blizzard, then I won't. That's what everything is. So far, so good for the forecast. I think we're supposed to get a system tonight into tomorrow, like another 4 inches of fucking snow. That's F-bomb worthy. But I think it's supposed to clear up and warm up this week, and I think it's supposed to be in the mid-30s Saturday. So it won't be too cold. This is like now we're in the type where it's like we're always, especially in Madison, like in the summer, like weather is our biggest competitor as a card show promoter because we don't get many nice days in Wisconsin compared to the whole year. So it's like that's, I love a good rain. Like I'd rather have rain in June, July, August than 80 degrees and sunny because people aren't going to go out and do things outside in the rain, but they may drive to a card show. So if it's 80 and sunny, they're probably not going to want to spend the day inside a hotel room looking at baseball cards. Now, people like me will, probably people like you, but general consensus, we'll just skip this month. We'll come back next month. Kind of the same in the winter. It's like, it's going to be cold. Sure. I mean, 36 is still cold as shit. But after 2 weeks of below zero, it's pretty freaking warm. So as long as we don't get any precipitation, take that 36 degrees all day. It's not too cold where people don't want to leave the house. It's no precipitation. Hopefully that's what we run into. No rain, no snow. 36 degrees. Orlando, what's going on? He doesn't have to worry about snow where he's at. I've seen the temperatures down there. I'm jealous. Max, what's up? Great season by the Green and Gold this year. Go Chiefs and Lions. That's who I'm rooting for. Actually, both games today are really good. This whole weekend, really, because I was interested in the Packers 49ers game. I didn't really have much interest in the Ravens Texans game. And then today, both games, Bills Chiefs. I mean, that's going to be a good game, I hope. Lions and Buccaneers. I don't know anything about the Buccaneers, so hopefully the Lions win. But I'm intrigued by these games today. James says Robbie Snelling is a stud. Well, good, because I think I probably have 200 more of his cards, so I'll have to get those listed. Merle, good morning. Hobby Evolvers. I like it. Mark's in the house. Good morning. Max says long sleeve shirts are not 3-season shirts. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're spring, fall, and winter, and sometimes summer. Here in Wisconsin. Cooter, what's up? Gave into the dark side. Cooter has joined us. He has submitted cards to get graded. 6 cards to SGC at the Dallas show. Picked up several vintage oddball giants. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Dave Richard, does Mark McGuire cards sell? I have about 1,000. He's not a hot. I mean, does he sell? Yes. Like I'll sell Mark McGuire cards, but it's they sit. Basically, any junk wax era star will eventually sell. Now, they may sit in your eBay store for months, if not years. But they'll move. They'll move. Bo Jackson, Ken Griffey Jr. I move a ton of those guys. I'm trying to think of other junk wax. Clemens and Bonds don't really move that well. Probably Hall of Fame guys probably are, now that I think of it, because McGuire, Clemens, Bonds outside the Hall of Fame. But Ripken will move. Who else? Kirby Puckett's kind of up and down. Will Clark, I do really well selling Will Clark. So that kind of throws the whole Hall of Fame argument out the window. But it's kind of a mixed bag. Ricky Henderson sells really well. Jose Canseco does pretty well. So there you go. So I guess Hall of Fame doesn't matter. Let's see. Mikey says, I'll talk to my mom about going to Madison. Well, talk to me first and then talk to your mom. Because I just don't have inventory I can sell. I'm with the Bucks today. Oh, Mikey, he's going against the grain, but I want Baker to prove everyone wrong. There you go. Dave says, I have a guy I buy from. He only collects cards that are $100 or more. I get the rest. I like it, but it's hard to keep up with his crack habit. Gotta love cardboard crack. Hey, I love that because you can get steal. Like guys that only want like the super, they think like a Jackson Holiday insert is worthless. And I'm like, that's gold to me. Because if he thinks it's worthless and I can get it for pennies, I can sell it for $7-8, sometimes 10. That's Jackson Holiday. Because Jackson, I had a whole bunch of Jackson Holiday in the latest Goodwill palette that I got. Like 10 of each insert. It's like, I put these in my eBay store for $7-8 and they'll sell. Boom, boom, boom. Max says, sweat right through damn near 10 months out of the year. See, I'm a sweater too, but not that much. And I like long sleeve shirts. I prefer long sleeve shirts over t-shirts. In fact, I was upset. I was going to wear what I thought was a long sleeve shirt that I bought at the Cubs Authentic store last weekend. And I opened up the bag and it's a fucking t-shirt. I'm like, you got to be kidding. It's one of those like moisture wicking shirts from Nike. So it's like, well, I guess this will be like a hot summer day shirt when I'm out gardening or mowing the lawn. Big Harv says, Dave, contact me. I'm a McGuire super collector and may take them. And there you go. There you go. Mikey says, what's Mikey say? Mikey says, I'm interested in some cards if you're interested in selling them. Mikey needs inventory. Mikey, hit up Facebook, man. There's so much good stuff on Facebook. Card groups, marketplace. Troy Barton, good morning. Flawed Thinkers in the house, good morning. Max says, I've worn pants twice so far, leaving the house this year. I wear I think now that I work from home, I wear shorts a lot more in the summer, but I wear pants 90% of the year. 90% like jean. And I'm talking about jeans, not just putting something on my legs. Jeans. I wear jeans like 90% of the year. Even hot summer days. Not anymore. Now that I'm working, because when I worked in the office, I had to wear pants. See, that's the downside to working for somebody else. You have to wear pants. I don't have to wear pants if I don't want to. You can't see my pants. I might be naked underneath. Just got my shirt on. Isn't that what you wanted to picture on a Sunday morning? No. Mr. Archer, late but present and accounted for. What's going on? Mikey is looking on Facebook. Okay. Max says, I refuse to wear pants to show anymore. Made that mistake once. I love pants. I love pants. I need to get more. I have like a rotation of 3. I have multiple pairs of, I think this is a stubborn man thing. We have 20 pairs of jeans, but we only wear like 3 of them. We have, and this doesn't just apply to jeans. This applies to like shoes also. We have the going out jeans. Those are the nice jeans that we wear when we have to go to dinner with our wife's friends that we don't care for, right? We all have that friend group. So you have those nice jeans. Then you have the casual jeans that you're just, I need to put some jeans on to go to Walmart, buy my cards, go to the grocery store, whatever. And then you have your shit jeans. You're going outside gardening. You're going outside to mow the lawn, whatever. They got holes. They're just good, shitty jeans. That's where I'm at. But then I have 17 other pairs of jeans that I just don't wear. I don't like. Sometimes I just don't like the way they fit. I don't like the way they look. I got, my wife made me get like cutesy with designer jeans, and I've got like silver, like what? Like, I guess they could be a going out jean. I've got a pair of black. I don't like black jeans. I've got a pair of black jeans. I actually packed them to Cubs convention last weekend. And then I put them on and I'm like, I don't know. These look like, no, this doesn't work. And I also tried to wear them. They're a casual jean. And I tried to wear them with, I think when I went to my niece's funeral thing, but they're like too baggy at the bottom. And they didn't look right with like a pair of dress shoes. And, but they also they look weird wearing like a Cubs shirt with them. So they're just in that land of, I need to just ask my wife, like, what can I, like, okay, here, this is casual. Like, what type of shirt do I, like a button down, like a casual button down untucked? What do I do? And with shoes, same thing. Same thing applies. We've got our nice dress shoes. And then we got like the loafers. Maybe there's like 4 pairs. So we have like dress shoes. We got a pair of dress shoes. We wear them once a year, twice a year. And then we got like a pair of loafers. Because loafers are great. Loafers are great. Because they're like, they can be like, if I wear a pair of loafers into the Front Street Tap in Anawan, some people be like, oh, what are you so? When you grow up in a small town like Anna, I would show up at the local bar wearing like a nice pair of jeans, loafers, and a button-down shirt. And like, you'd walk up to the bar and like Elmer at the bar, what are you so dressed up for? Like, I'm wearing fucking jeans, man. What do you mean? I don't have a pair of overalls. I'm sorry. I don't own any camo. This is what I wear. So we have a pair of loafers. Go with anything. It's not overly dressy. Certainly not underdressed. And then we've got our nice sneakers. And those are like the cat. Like, I got to run to Walmart and get cards. But then also at the same time, you can wear them like they're sporty. You can go out, like if you're going out to see, you don't want to go to a nice restaurant with your sneakers, but go out to sushi, boom. And then you have your shit. And usually we have when it comes to sneakers, we have this 3-shoe rotation. All right. So you go out, you buy a nice new pair of like white K-Swiss, Adidas, Nike, whatever. And they're nice. And you wear them to sushi and you wear them out with friends and they're nice. And then they get a little dirty. And so then they get dropped in the rotation. And I don't just quickly replace them. Then I'll just go, okay, if we're going out, I'm going to wear the loafers. So then they get dropped into the casual sneaker section. That's when, okay, I just need to run out to get groceries, Walmart, go up to the Village Green and have a burger. That's the casual. They've got some marks. You can tell they've been worn. And then it's like it's the winter. You step in a snow puddle and they get all dirty. And then they're demoted down to lawn mowing shoes. We all have them. We have the green lawn mowing, the green stained lawn mowing shoes that at one time they were our nice going out shoes. Wear these nice sneakers out to sushi. Now they're relegated to lawn mowing. Similar to jeans. What's going on, chat? Where are we at? Mr. Archer says, I need to get down for a Smokies game. You know, one of my like dream vacations. One of my dream vacations was to tour the U.S. based on Cubs minor league affiliate. So this dream was several years ago, before there was downsizing of minor league baseball. So there was short season. I think at the time, the Cubs were in Boise, Idaho. So like my dream was go out to Boise, Idaho. And this was, I've always had this fascination with an RV. I don't know. I think it's just like this dream. Like it sounds fun, but I think put into practice, I would actually despise traveling by RV across the country. Who knows? Maybe not. I think it's one of those things I just need to try it once just to get this thought out of my head. But Boise, and then at that time, I think low A was in Daytona, and then high A was in, or wait, no, low A would have been Peoria, high A would have been Daytona, double A would have been in Tennessee, probably West Tennessee at that time, and then triple A Iowa. So that was my dream. Now it's like, there's like 14. Now you go to low A is Myrtle Beach. Hey, that'd be fun. Actually, one of my brothers lives in Myrtle Beach, so I could, but he's got like 5 kids. So it's like, like, can you like send the kids off to camp or something? I don't want to deal with all these kids. Isn't that a shitty thing to say about your nieces and nephews? Myrtle Beach, and then South Bend, which I've never been to South Bend. I don't think I've ever been to South Bend at all, the city. I've been to South Bend Cubs games when they visit Beloit. And then double A, where Mr. Archer is down in Tennessee, and then triple A Iowa. Again, I've never been to in Iowa Cubs. I've been to Des Moines. I've never been to an Iowa Cubs game. I've been talking at a friend, a giant Cubs fan. He was a few years older than me in high school, and we would always talk about, let's get some guys together. Let's go out to Des Moines. We've been talking about that for 25 years, almost 25 years. And I still, then when the Cubs had a lot of prospects coming up through Chris Bryant, those guys, I was going to make it. The home games in Des Moines just never worked for my schedule at that point in time. And now it's like, I don't want to go all the way to Des Moines to watch an Iowa Cubs game. But maybe one of these days I'll make that trek. Who knows? Mikey says, but the card screen is not very good around here. So very sparse. Just keep looking, man. They'll pop up. And expand your search because you're in Indiana. So Indianapolis, there's got to be some. I don't know how far you are from Indianapolis, but Fort Wayne, there's got to be a major city. Like there's got to be something around you. Max says every building you want, or just find a group and have it shipped. Kind of like the thing I ran into yesterday. Like that was that would have been a good deal even shipped. Max says every building you walk into now is 85 degrees, worse than 90 in the summer. I do hate heat inside. I hate like it's I love outdoor heat in the summer. If I'm just out on the deck having a beer, I want it to be 95 and humid. If I'm in the house, like in the summer, I want the inside air conditioning set to like 71. In the winter, I want it to be like 68 or 68. The funny thing is, I was thinking about this the other day. We can tell, I think most of us can tell the difference between 1, 2, 3 degrees inside our house. But then we say, what's the difference between 0 and -10? They're cold as shit. But we can tell the difference between 67 and 69 because I'll walk down, so I'm like, man, it's cold down here. It's 69 upstairs, and I'm like, ooh, it's cold down here. And it's 67. And I'm like, the fuck? And then it's like, ooh, I'll walk upstairs. I'm like, damn, it's warm in here because my wife's had the fireplace running. It's like 72. Like we can tell, like, oh my God. Like 69 is comfortable. 71 is hot as fuck. 67 is cold as shit. How do we know this? Our bodies are weird. But I dislike, especially in the winter, I absolutely despise when people crank the heat up inside, when it's like 10 below zero outside, and then you walk into a building and it's 80. Like, Jesus, turn the heat off, man. It's hot as shit in here. Porter says I'm grumpy because of a shitty sales week. Fuck pants and fuck the Chiefs. Porter says, fuck everything, man. Drop that F-bomb. Dave says a player that sells good is Dale Murphy. Yes, that's a good one. Dale Murphy sells really well. There's a lot of Dale Murphy, and I learned this like just on like Twitter. Like there's a lot of Dale Murphy. Like every Braves fan has a Dale Murphy PC. I'm pretty sure that's science. It is science that every Braves collector is a Dale Murphy collector. I'm pretty sure of that. Yes, Dale Murphy. He's one of those, like, I'll throw some Dale Murphy cards and it's like, boom, within 3 days they're sold. Troy says he goes commando 90% of the time. There's an image you all wanted on Sunday morning. Just like me, naked underneath. Flawed Thinker says, even though I work in a professional place, I've never seen a dress code. So I definitely walk the line sometimes with chores and Crocs, but nobody has ever said anything to me about it. Oh, shorts and not chores. Sometimes with shorts and Crocs. The pandemic changed me. I was pro dress code. So I came from, when I was in radio and I was in my 20s, so you just dismiss everything you thought when you were in your 20s, because that's not, you become a different person once you hit like 30. Once I went from radio into the university setting, academia, that's when I like became pro dress code. It's like, okay, you're in the office, dress professionally. So then when I got out of broadcasting and athletics, then I worked in transportation, inside an office, inside sales. No, very few times would clients come in. It's like, and we started, my first boss was very like, you would think he was military, like he looked military, and he acted military, but he was not military, but he was very militant with, I remember putting my coat, I had like a jacket, it was like might have been in the fall, but I put my like just a light jacket on the back of my chair at my desk. And my boss came over and he goes, we don't allow jackets on the chairs. You'll have to use the closet. I'm like, where the fuck am I at? Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? And so another coworker, he's like, oh yeah, we forgot to tell you. He's pretty, and like you had to clean, like everything had to be picked up off your, like, what? This is not me. I should have known from that point. I should have known this is not the job for me. Maybe it's the job for me, but it's not the office setting for me. I would walk in. Remember, I come from a media background, athletics, radio, broadcasting, radio. Everybody is like type A, outgoing personalities. Now, when you work in inside, and I was in sales. In the sales department, we had like 3 or 4 in our sales department. We were all outgoing, but the rest, the operations team, were all like introverts. And a lot of like, no offense, a lot of Star Wars guys in there. And I'd walk into, now when I worked in radio, if like 3 or 4 people were in the break room, like you're talking like, oh, the game last night, blah, 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 blah. There's like people talking. I'd walk into this break room and you could hear a pin drop. Like they're reading books. And like, what the fuck? Talk. Where am I at? Did somebody like, did aliens kidnap me? Where am I? And I put up with that shit for what, 8 years almost? Good God. Why am I talking about this? Where? The dress code thing. So early on, I was like, so my original boss was like set to retire. And so one of my coworkers was angling for the office manager position. And just talking about like what he would do. And he's like, no dress code. And I'm like, you gotta have a dress code, man. You don't want slobs walking in, right? So I was like pro dress code. And then the pandemic hit and I'm wearing like hoodies and shorts at home. And so I went back into the office and it's like, I got so used to wearing shorts and polos, like just hanging out at home working, that I carried it over to the office. And like by that time, like dress codes were wiped out. The militant manager had been long retired. And so the last year or so, post pandemic, I just wore whatever the F I wanted. And I no longer cared about dress codes, but I also no longer cared about my job either. What was the term they were using back then? Like, quiet quitting or something. I totally quiet quit like for the last year. It's like, this fucking sucks. I'm just collecting paychecks and trying to build this business. Max, to clarify for the women watching, most men are not part of this we bullshit, mowing the lawn in jeans. So I will say, so I should backtrack on the mowing the lawn in jeans. I only mow the lawn in jeans when it's like below 70. But if it's above 70, I'll wear shorts when I mow. I prefer mowing the lawn in shorts. Need another hole in your head. Too hot for that. I don't know what that means. Christian says the gene theory is 100% correct. Christian says, hot take, only those who were teenagers in the 70s wear black jeans. That's interesting. I don't know if that's a hot take though. Like, I don't see anybody, like, I guess I'm not really paying attention to other men wearing jeans. But yeah, I guess I don't really notice black jeans. Hey, maybe I could be a trendsetter. I'll wear my black jeans and set some trends. Sal Dougie, good morning. It's officially Brewers season in Wisconsin. The Packers lost last night. No tears were shed in this house. Cheers, Ziggy. What's going on? Max says, little light on the loafers, are we? Apparently, I am light in the loafers. James says, I used to iron my shirts. People would make fun at the local bar. Yeah. What you so dressed up for? Max says it's buck season. Ziggy says, I heard the hobby is off to a strong start in 2024. So look, so far, so good. I will say this, though. The hobby is always strong in January. And most people don't, if you're in the trenches, I think you recognize it. Most people that are not like in it would think, well, it's after, like, people aren't spending money after Christmas. That's like a myth. I think people still spend money. Look at the credit card debt in this country. People are not taking breaks on spending money. Yes, I think the hobby is off to a great start. My December 30th Madison Card Show was a huge success, and looking to to carry that over to Saturday's show on January 27th. Typically, my January, historically, the last 3 years, has it been 3 years? 22 and 23. I guess it's only been 2 previous Januaries were my strongest shows at Madison. January's always been a big month. I killed it in Rockford in January and February last year. Probably 2 of my best shows. So it seems like, and I think it's because we're now turned to baseball. Most of our football teams have lost. Football playoffs. So there's still a little football energy with the playoffs. Baseball, it's all, the hobby seasons are all based on speculation. Like the peak in baseball is not July. It's not All-Star break. It's not the playoffs. It's not opening day. It's in the months leading up to opening day. It's like, what if? Because everybody's team can make the playoffs at this point. By the end of April, that's not the case. Then you get in the dog days of summer. We're doing other things. And then the playoffs, it's like out of sight, out of mind. And then the offseason, all of a sudden, the cycle starts back up for the next year. We're in basket. I don't do basketball, but we're kind of in the middle of basketball season. So at least it's top of mind. Nothing is really in the off season. Nothing is in the off season right now. I guess baseball is in the off season, but we're in the speculative off season. We're like ramping up. Pitchers and catchers report in 3 weeks. So we're getting really close. Flawed Thinker says, my uncle born in 76 only wears black jeans, gray socks, gray t-shirts, and boots. I've never seen him in anything else during my life. That's funny. That's funny. Ziggy No says, remember, people buy cards, not algorithms. I don't know what that's in reference, but I'm going to tell you something. The algorithms, I don't know if you're joking or if you're serious about this, but I do want to address this. We talk a lot about algorithms, right? On eBay. Well, how can I tweak the algorithm, right? People aren't buying the algorithm, correct? But are people seeing your listings without the algorithm? Probably not. So while people aren't buying the algorithms, they're buying the cards. How do they find the cards? They find the cards through the algorithm. So we've got to massage the algorithm, and we've got to take every possible step to get our products in front of potential customers on eBay. Think like a customer. Don't think like you. Like if you are a seller, don't do what you do. Do what a customer does. And also don't think about just baseball card buyers, because to us, how many of you have searched baseball card on eBay? Maybe a couple, maybe if you're bored, maybe if you're just trying something different, but most likely you're not searching for Aaron Nola baseball cards. But what if grandma is looking for an Aaron Nola baseball card for her grandson? What's grandma going to search for? Do you think grandma's going to search for 2020 Allen and Ginter, Aaron Nola? Fuck no. Grandma's going to search for Aaron Nola baseball card. And you can fit all of that into the search, into your title on eBay. Aaron Nola, 2020 Allen and Ginter, 14 Phillies baseball card. Can all fit. Team name, very important. I know that as a seller, people search for teams. I have countless sales on Orioles, Dodgers, Yankees. And it's not just like Aaron Nola, Phillies cards. Somebody comes in and buys Phillies or another one. Aaron Nola. Somebody comes in and buys Aaron Nola, Kyle Schwarber. Who else was on the Mike Schmidt, Phillies. How did they come into the store? They probably came in. Maybe they did come in looking for Aaron Nola, and then they just like, I'm a Philly. But guess what? I doubt they searched Aaron Nola, Mike Schmidt, Kyle Schwarber, name your Philly. I bet they went into my store. Maybe they came in finding Aaron Nola. They're like, wow, this guy has 50,000 listings. What else does he have? I bet he didn't do 5 different searches based on player. I bet he searched Phillies in my store. Guarantee you he did. And I know that because that's how I search. But again, it's not about me. I've also got to think, what would I do? I'm just one segment. Like how I search is just one segment. I typically only search Cubs in my search. I'll type in Cubs and then I'll use the filters, baseball cards. And then I'll do the search. But I know there's player collectors, so obviously I think the player is important. Sometimes there's a product that has just like Panini. If you're using Cardi the Pro, Panini Prism Collegiate Draft Picks and Prospects, I think is what the name is. Like, is all of that necessary? Is anybody searching 2019 Panini Prism Collegiate Draft Picks and Prospects? No. They're probably searching Prism Draft, the player. So there's a lot of unnecessary stuff that isn't needed in a title. I don't think it matters the order. Yeah, I actually did change the order in Cardi the Pro 2.0. So I think my order now goes, I think player first, where I'm just trying something different with titles. And does it matter? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. But this was actually a discussion that I had with Card Dealer Pro, their AI team. And they're asking me, and I'm sure they asked other power users of the platform, just to get a consensus of, okay, what's important to, our biggest users on the platform. And I say baseball card or football card or basketball card is huge because we hear a lot about the 10Xing of the hobby. You're not going to 10X if you're looking, and we just forget about 10Xing fanatics and what their comments were. Think about your own business. How are you going to 10X or 5X or 2X your business on eBay? You're not going to just continue to tweet out, hey, come shop my eBay store or put it in my YouTube channel at the bottom of the screen. If I do this every day, am I going to 2X my business? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. How do I 2X my business? I have to put more and more inventory in. Got to double my inventory. Actually, I got to 4 or 5X my inventory. You've got to create ways to bring in customers that aren't already your customers. That's what Fanatics wants to do with their 10Xing. They're not catering to us. We're already buying their product. They want grandma who's searching Aaron Nola baseball cards. How can they capture those outside the hobby? How can we get people to find our stuff? It's about the algorithm. What are people searching? And if you type in 2020 Allen and Ginter, Aaron Nola, there's a whole bunch of them going to come up. But if you can type in, it's a baseball card, you don't want to lie, like autograph. You can't put autograph and refractor if it's not, but it is a baseball card. And what's somebody that's not within our circle going to search? Probably like little Timmy wants Aaron Nola baseball cards. And if grandma doesn't know anything about baseball cards and she knows that Timmy wants an Aaron Nola baseball card, what is she going to search? Aaron Nola baseball card. So that's how you can capture clientele that are not already aware of your eBay store and all that. So that's my soapbox on titles. And it's very important, especially if you have the character space. And in most instances, you have character space to get all of that in. Sometimes baseball card gets lost. City name to a team. Like I think on Allen and Ginter, since this is a base card, I can get Aaron Nola 2020 Allen and Ginter 14 Philadelphia Phillies baseball card. All of that can fit. But say it's like the chrome refractor, something's got to give. And I'm probably going to delete Philadelphia first. I mean, that would be, if this was a Allen and Ginter chrome refractor, I would go Aaron Nola 2020 Allen and Ginter chrome refractor 14 Phillies baseball card. If that's still over 80 characters, I'm cutting baseball card off. Because chrome refractor is more important in the title than baseball card and certainly more important than Philadelphia. So that's just my advice. Where are we at? Mr. Archer says new stadium opens in downtown Knoxville next year. Oh, very cool. Mikey says I would wear my sandals with socks every day if I could. Merle says, why doesn't Uncle Bo come to visit? Another freaking cold day in the Noy. Cold day here too. I think we're like 25 below zero wind chills, but it's going to be it's actually 2 degrees above zero right now. Sweet cards, dude. What's up? I love that logo. Simple. I like it. Max says, I'll agree with the shoes angle. They all have their own uses, but K-Swiss haven't been popular for 20 years. Well, neither have puka shell necklaces or spiky hair, but I still rock those looks. Ziggy's in the chat. Mikey says, I can't sleep unless it's 63 to 65. I do like sleeping in cooler, but I'm not going to turn my thermostat down for that. Bargain Boxer says, my wife keeps it at 62 the year I was born. Ooh, that's cold. I'd be looking for a new home. 62. I thought my wife was bad at like 67, freezing me out. Red Light 34. He's late, but here. Good morning. And hit that like button and do all those things, says the Bargain Boxer. Mikey says it's because our bodies are used to Mars average temperature where we came from. Bargain Boxer says we came from Mars. I've never heard that before. That's an interesting take. The hobby is strong. Went to the LCS grand opening yesterday. Line was around the shopping center. Tons of kids live streamed it. Ooh, I'm going to have to check that out. Very cool. Our ideal sleep temperature is the temperature it is on Mars. And other crazy facts that directly explain that we came from Mars, including of dreaming about going to Mars. I've never dreamt about going to Mars. Maybe I'm not from Mars. There's a book. Wasn't there a book? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So did men come from Mars? Are women from Venus? Is it colder in Venus? Is that why our wives have our thermostats set so low? That must be why. Bargain Boxer was a teenager in the 70s, and I've never wore black jeans. I have a pair of black. I almost wore them last weekend. Didn't, but almost. What is it about black jeans? Black jeans are weird. I think I wore black jeans like in grade school. I don't know. Maybe because my parents were around in the 70s. They're like, oh, this is the cool thing to do. We did it in the 70s. Zigster is correct. The hobby is alive and well. Debt is off the charts. Yes. When does Card Low IQ open up? Anybody going? Is that Card IQ? Is that Jeff Wilson's thing? Max says, don't be old. Algorithm lives matter. When does 2024 Bowman come out so I can save up? I think April is typically when Bowman comes out. Mid to late April. Diego, what's up? Diego searches for Sandberg. Absolutely. And I do search for Adon Sanchez. I search for Ethan Roberts. I search for what are the other ones? So those are like the players. Those are basically the only players I search for because I'm a team collector. Usually it's just Cubs. Sometimes I'll type in Cubs 1 of 1. Johnny M says, I put as much info in the title as I can, include the sport. I would be willing to bet that people that only put the year, brand, and name of player don't get as many sales. I think so. I think that is correct. I would agree with that. I mean, you got to utilize all those characters. Sometimes it's tough to fill those characters without like putting in bullshit information. But for the most part, you put in player, product, number, baseball card, team, it'll fit within 80 characters. Diego then moves to Phillies, and he can't spell collegiate. It's a toughie, but you spelled it right. He spelled it wrong. Bargain Boxer. Diego says, except here I have spell check. There you go. Bargain Boxer says Fanatics will 10x by printing to the moon. I don't think they're gonna. I think the folks at Fanatics are smarter than to just print to. They are going to print to the moon, but I don't think that's their plan to 10x the hobby. What's funny is I think wasn't it just kind of like, wasn't that statement just kind of said in, not in jest, but just kind of like, it wasn't like a headline like, we are going to 10x the hop. Maybe it was, but I think we collectively, and that's just a broad statement. Some of you may not be included in the we, Max, but I think the overall hobby community has stuck to that 10x, myself included, because I reference it all the time. And I think it's just, we're giving it a longer lifespan than it really needed. Blaine says, do you have to manually add team name and baseball card to title in CDP? It doesn't include team in the title when I upload. Yes. So you don't have to manually add. You can create a template. I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. So let's go to, I just want to make sure I'm in the right. Okay. So let's share the screen. CDP. All right. So here's my templates. Can you see it? You don't need to see me. Full screen it. All right. CDP 2.0. All right. So over here, where your like sign-in thing is, go to account settings. Once you're in account settings, go down here to templates. I don't know why that thing keeps popping up. So this is so I have a whole bunch of different templates. So this is my baseball template. So here you can create whatever you want. So this is how I have mine set up: player, set, card, variation, subset, number, team, attribute, and then baseball card. So I type in baseball card. You can type in your store name. You can type whatever the hell you want. You can type in anything there and it'll pop up on every listing that you use this template. So baseball card, I actually had to type in myself, but it's in the template. So that's the only time I had to type it in once. And now it populates every listing. But team, you can just click down here on team. Boom. So that's how you set up your templates. Diego says she will look for Aaron Nola and end up buying Austin Nola. Ooh, yeah. Zach and Porter in the house. What's going on? And Diego and Zach say hello to each other. Max says, wait, you wear a puka shell necklace? Not anymore. I used to. I wore a puka shell necklace long after it was the cool thing to do. I had blonde tips a few years after it was cool. I wore K-Swiss a few years after it was cool. I wore an upside down backwards visor a couple of years after it was cool. Was it ever cool? That's debatable. Merle says Mars is a hell of a lot colder than 67 degrees, more like negative 67 degrees. I'm not familiar with the temperature of Mars. JG says 39 degrees in Florida. What the hell is happening? Cold going through dollar boxes at the flea market. Happy Sunday. That's really fucking cold. I wouldn't be outside flipping through dollar boxes. Porter says the eBay descriptions on Panini products are pretty comical. I don't collect modern football, so it was a chore trying to figure out what friggin' card I was holding in my hand. I hate that so much. Now, I do like with Cardi the Pro, like it's got the drop down. It's like, oh, I know. It's much faster. I don't have to Google. I mean, for those that didn't give CDP 2.0 a chance, you're losing out, man. Because now, like, CDP 1.0, like, basically the difference between the old Car Dealer Pro and 2.0 is like the difference between doing it from your phone and Car Dealer Pro original. Like that's the leap. Like if you're just listing and taking pictures from your phone and not using a feed scanner in Car Dealer Pro, that's the difference between 1.0 and 2.0. Like I can list 500-600 cards in an hour with like no sweat off my back. That's what I've been doing this week. But in 1.0, if there was like I don't think I have any next to me, but if there was like a yellow and green prism die cut, like it's like, what the hell is this? A green? Is this a yellow? Is it a yellow and green? What the hell is it called? I'd have to Google. I'd have to go to Beckett or Cardboard Connection, look up the checklist. And I'm like, well, I think, and sometimes I'm like, I think it's this, but let me go to and then I have to check eBay. So a lot of that stuff, I'm not dealing with it. I'm just going to put it back in a box And now with 2.0, I can start listing those cards. I found a box the other night filled with those color. They're not worth much, $2. So, but I'll get them listed. Merle says, Bo will show you his. All he has to do is stand up. Yeah, you don't know. I might not be wearing pants. Donald says CDP SKU box is in the overview area. Click on SKU box and fill in the value. Then it will auto fill all the SKU boxes. I know this was from yesterday's show, and I just watched the replay last night. And I think somebody did drop a comment on that, or maybe even in the Facebook group, or maybe even Twitter. But it sounds like it probably, for the time it takes me to just copy and paste it in the spreadsheet, because I'm uploading the spreadsheet anyway. I think it's probably the same amount of time, but I'll try it out. See how I like it. Low Roller Scratcher has joined us. Sports Illustrated. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Laying off all their employees. I'm wondering, has anybody listed Sports Illustrated magazines? Which, by the way, Sports Illustrated magazines do not sell. But I'm just wondering if this, because I'm seeing a lot of, this is my favorite cover on Twitter. And anytime there's something in the news, it's gonna bump. Maybe it's not gonna bump the price up. Your $5 magazine's not gonna be $10, but your $5 magazine that's been sitting in your store for 3 years might sell. So I'm just curious if anybody's had any luck, if they've tried listing Sports Illustrated magazines. I've got a ton of SI for Kids cards in my store. I haven't really seen, I think I've sold a couple, but I have so many in my store that they're kind of moving at a pace anyway, so I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary. Low Roller has a new video. Check it out. Big Harv says, Bo equals Zach Morris. JG says, loaded boxes made me feel warm and fuzzy. Red Light says, does it cost more to update? No, it's the same price. 2.0 is the same price as the original. So if you sign up and use my promo code CUBS, CUBS, you'll get 500 free scans upon any paid subscription. And the subscription rates are the same as the old Car Dealer Pro. So, hey, what a deal is that? Check it out, cardealerpro.com. And don't forget that promo code is CUBS, CUBS. Merle says, no. Porter says, that's how I enter SKU. Blaine says, thanks, helps a lot. Just got CDP last weekend, so trying to figure everything out. Awesome. If you have any questions, I use it so much differently. You can ask them here. It's for the Rico scanners, Car Dealer Pro questions, just ask support. Both support staffs are awesome. I said it the other day, the Rico support is like the best customer support of any company I've ever used. And I'm not just saying that. It's true. So if you have any questions on if something's not working, I probably can't help. So just reach out to support from Car Dealer Pro or Rico, whatever you're having an issue with, if you are, and they can help you out. Red Light 34 says we'll have to update to 2.0. There you go. So I'm going to wrap things up. I've got a lot of shipping to do. Biscuit's got to go potty. Burgers and beers. So I went to Village Green last night, and I had their burger. My buddy's like, and they like rave that they're like the best burgers in Madison. And I'm like, I'm a burger guy. I'm going to try this out. So I had a burger. This was a couple months ago, and it was like not even top 5. I don't even know if the burger I had would rank top 10 in burgers I've had in Madison. I'm like, and my buddy's like, really? He's like, these are like the best burgers in town. And I'm like, not this one. So I've been wanting, because he like every time we're there, he's like, dude, you just got to give it another chance. So I've been wanting to give it another chance, and I did last night. And it was also their double cheeseburger special. And it was fucking amazing. F-bomb worthy. Grade A, F-bomb worthy. Delicious double cheeseburger at the Village Green. I would put it up with other burgers of Madison. It was that good. So if you're in Middleton, Wisconsin, check out the Village Green. It was awesome. The only thing that wasn't awesome was all the Packers fans in the bar. My goodness. I'm like, I was going to have like another beer, maybe 2 beers, and watch the game. No. When the funny thing is about this bar, I like it because it's like it's like this super dive bar in the middle of this bougie downtown neighborhood. Like everything's built up and nice luxury stuff all around it. And then this shitty old bar that's been there for a century. And there's every time I've been in there, there's been like one sloppy ass drunk person that's made it hilarious. And I didn't stay in, I was there till like 7:30 or 8, but I guarantee there was going to be lots of sloppy drunks last night. And every time, like the Packers would have like a 3-yard run and the bar would erupt. Like, what happened? It's 2nd and 7. What the fuck are they screaming about? Incomplete pass. Oh, like the one was it was in the first quarter, I think. Jordan Love got hit in the field of play, but it looked like in real time, it looked like maybe the defender hit him late. And so they replayed it. And I like that. This was the point I realized I just got to go, because I'm a very like vocal sports fan. And so when I'm watching a game, I'll like get into it and like, yell, kind of like all these people, but I don't yell on 3-yard gains or incomplete passes. So like I watched the replay and I'm like, oh, that was a clean hit. Fortunately, I don't think anybody else heard me, but I yelled it pretty loud. I'm like, I should probably leave. I should probably leave. Max says, so it's like any other Wisconsin bar during a Packer game. Yes. I don't go to bars during football games, so this was new to me. Merle says, do you change any settings on your 8170 when scanning Chrome cards? I don't, but I probably should because some of the scans come out dark. But no, I don't. Good morning, Kyle. What's happening? Max says, watching any game in public other than being at the game itself is miserable. If I disagree. Watching a Packers 49ers game as like an outsider is miserable. If it was a Bears game in a Bears bar, like, and I'm around like-minded people, then it would be enjoyable. But not wanting the Packers to win, being in a Packers bar, which is any bar in Wisconsin, is miserable. All right. So that's what I had. Delicious burger at the Village Green. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. I won't sleep in tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. It's card show week, Madison Card Show. Saturday, John Nolan Drive, Sheraton Hotel. 135, maybe 140 tables this week. I might have to make a Fleet Farm run, buy more tables. Max will be there. He'll be set up as a dealer. I may or may not be set up as a dealer. It just depends how oversold I am. So come out and see me and Max and a bunch of cards this Saturday. Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. All right. Have a great Sunday. Go Lions. Go Lions. And we'll see you Monday.